besides the list of questions I already have, that were given to me again over lunch, who has a question? Yeah.
I would like to hear how you take this and put it together with the attractor factor.
Yeah, so she says, in case you didn't hear it, she wants to know how I take this, what we've been learning about zero limits, and put it together with the attractor factor, or the law of attraction, or the thing that's in The Secret. This is something I've struggled with, meaning, in terms of what you've all been understanding this weekend, I've been cleansing on, because I've wanted to understand, meaning I wanted to control, meaning I wanted to be right, meaning I've wanted to get results, meaning Joe's ego has been trying to direct this thing, so Joe's wanted to know what the formula is to get the results that Joe wants. And what I've had to do is just keep cleaning and cleaning and cleaning on that and having discussions with him on the times that I've been able to get together with Dr. Len. So I get to the point of understanding that the only intention I have is to keep cleaning so I am receiving inspiration when divinity gives it to me in each moment. That's the only intention I want. And even that is an intention that's one step removed from divinity itself. So I no longer come up with, I want to create such and such, I want to have a particular item, I want to be happy in each moment, I want to cleanse whatever is in the way of me enjoying each moment. And as I cleanse what's in the way of me enjoying each moment, that moment is taken care of, and the next moment is even better than the moment I was just in. I gave a talk, a very spontaneous talk that seemed to be inspired to my mentors at North Star Mentoring. You've all seen a flyer that went around. I have a miracles coaching program, and two of my coaches, the mentors, are back here. And I went in one day and I told them that I got inspired driving over there, and I understood that all of us are like at a dot on a map. And there's the dot, and it's like if you walk in the mall and you see the great big sign which laying out where all those stores are, there's a dot that says you are here. So it tells you where you are. You are here. But most of us want to go to another dot. We want to go over here. We're over here. I'm trying to write with the mic in my hand. You here. You want to go there. This is the goal. We want to be at that goal. And this was already alluded to. We all learn different techniques to get from here to go over there. And we fight, we struggle, we climb. Sometimes we learn the secret. Sometimes we learn the law of attraction. We read the attractor factor. We find that it can be a little easier going over here. But we still want to leave here to get there. And I have found, in my experience, for me to get here, I have to do nothing but be here, right where I am. If I am there, totally there, and I'm almost never totally there because of all the memories, because of all the programs, all the beliefs. These are other words that I would use for memories. Because of all the other programs, all the other beliefs, I'm never totally here. But what I want to do, if there's a goal, if there's an intention at all, I want to be here, totally taking care of enjoying this moment. And as I take care of this moment, I end up at something like this or better. Because when I'm here and I'm saying I want to be over there, that's my goal, my intention, I'm seeing with blinders on. I'm seeing with the limitations of this moment. And if I say, man, it'd be great to be up there, I might be limiting and not seeing at all what's way up here or even off the map. So how this works for me is if there's any intention at all, it's for me to keep cleaning so I'm in this moment. So when the divine kind of sends the message through me, to go turn left, to go turn right, to write a book, to go on a TV show, whatever it happens to be, I'm there to hear it. Because if I don't keep cleaning, I'm not there to hear it. And then I just struggle. Maybe I get there, maybe I don't. Because the great joke in life is that we're all here, we want to get up there, and when we do get there, what do we go through? We are now here, not there at all mentally, and we want to go up to another dot. As soon as we even see this dot in sight, we start thinking, wow, what's the next dot? I found the point of power is here. And to have real power, I have to keep cleansing so I'm totally here. I find that it is incredibly interesting that we've been cleaning since we've learned about it yesterday morning, and now the sky is clear, the sun is out, the water is beautiful, People are out there on the water. We've had our picture taken outside. No, obviously the sun would have come out at some point, but it just seems to me that this is relevant, that the sun is out now. It seems to be a metaphor. A few days ago, when the big storm hit and the ice was here and the snow was here and Narissa and I were housebound like many people, the power went out. The house quickly got very, very cold. And I'm from up north. I'm from up in Ohio. I left it because of reasons like this, for weather like this. And so that brought up what? Memories. So I walked around the house, make sure the critters are okay, Narissa's calmed down, everybody's all right, I'm calming down. And I thought the only thing I could do was go lay down and cleanse. I went to bed, I laid down, and I spent maybe 10 minutes just saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. That's all I was doing. It was my meditation. It was my meditation. Now, at one point I started to think, why am I doing this? I thought, am I trying to turn the power on? So I went into a mental thing. Am I trying to turn the power on? Because if I am, didn't the divine turn the power off to begin with? And if I'm trying to request it to be turned back on, am I trying to overrule the divine? I was going into a head spin here, and I thought, wait a minute, I need to clean on that. You see how the memories just go crazy and your mind goes nuts? So I just kept saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Just getting right back into the gratitude, right back into the flow. Knowing, in my mind, I was thinking, yeah, I prefer to have the power on, but I will be okay if it needs to be off. I will go with the flow. Narissa said, aren't you scared? At one point, and I said, no. I said, people go camping in this kind of weather. They choose to. So I'll just pretend I chose to be at home when it got cold and the power went out. You know, I wasn't worried at all. So I just kept, I love you, I'm sorry. And about 12 minutes into this, power comes back on. Now, it's real easy for my ego to say, I did it. Because I was doing the cleaning, the sun came out. Because I was doing the cleaning, the power came on. Did it? I don't know. I don't know, and it doesn't matter. All I know is I have to keep cleaning. And I have to keep cleaning because of the statistics I put in my book and the statistics that he pointed out in that one book that was circulating here earlier. Our conscious mind doesn't have a clue what's going on. There is so much data underneath the conscious mind and so much data that's circulating around the room that we don't even see. Some of you have seen portals open up, and you've seen a little bit of it here, that all we can do is just keep cleaning and cleaning and cleaning because there's just so much of it. I've actually felt while writing the book, I thought, well, you know, once this all gets out there, this big mistake, right? Once this all gets out there, it's got to clean the whole world, and it'll just get easier and easier and lighter and lighter and lighter. And then he makes a comment like yesterday when he says, you know, when the people die, and if they die with some sort of memory, that memory may be stuck on the ceiling in the emergency room or stuck in the house where they passed away. And all I could see was, if that's true, I can't imagine anybody, except maybe 3 or 4 people on the entire history of the world, that didn't die with some sort of memory that got left behind. Which means, oh my God, do I have cleaning to do? Overwhelming amount of cleaning. He's told me that before, but I've never quite heard it. And always in the back of my mind, I thought to myself, I'm a good entrepreneur. I'll find a way to make the shortcut. You tell me what the Hawaiians did for thousands of years, and then I will Americanize it, and I will find the instant, you know, what is it, the commercial that says just push the button and all the office supplies show up? Yeah, I'll find the easy button. I'll push the button, and the whole world will change. Well, the button is in me, and what happens is, by saying I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you, or even just one of those statements, even if it's just I love you, or it's just I'm sorry, any of those statements, that begins to clean. And as it's cleaning, I get to be back in this moment to the best of my ability, never totally in this moment. Part of me is already thinking of something else, or tomorrow, or books, or whatever else is coming along the way. But I'm doing my best to be in this moment. And the more I can be in this moment, the next moments seem to be more fantastic. That's my experience of it. So I'm no longer playing the intention game. I'm no longer playing the secret game, which is so ironic, and it's probably meaningful that I didn't go on Oprah to go talk about the secret, because I would have been the one guy out of alignment from the rest of the group. And I probably would have mouthed off like I did on Larry King, you know, and been the one guy who said, you know what, the secret, that's kind of bull. You know, it works for a certain stage, but you can go past that. And Jack Canfield would be looking at me, and Oprah would be looking at me, and James Ray would be looking at me. So it's probably very relevant that I just kept cleaning, and I won't go on for that reason. but I may go on for this reason. So that's my answer to the law of attraction and so forth. Yeah, great question. Another question, yes?
Well, I just have an observation that from where I'm sitting, when I'm doing the cleaning, I am connected with that zero, and that is the goal. It's not cleaning the mountains so much as being in connection. And the easiest, best way to do that is by doing the process.
I think there's a little bit of an opportunity for self-deception there. I understand what you're talking about. At least I think I do. But as soon as I believe that I'm at zero, I'm not at zero. I'm again one step removed from it. As soon as I believe that by doing this cleansing, I am now channeling the divine, or any way that you want to describe that I'm now letting that inspiration come through, I'm probably deceiving myself again. What it seems to me that happens is that when I'm really at zero and inspiration comes through, I don't have a thought about it. I just do it. I just live it. And somebody else might note, hey, where did that come from? Or what happened to you with that particular situation? And I'll go, oh, I hadn't thought about it, but I just got this wild idea and I just went through and did it. So I think there's a purity there that seems to happen when you hit zero. But I don't hit zero, is my understanding. I'm waiting for him to jump up and say something. Yes, Cindy.
I was going to say with your diagram there, with my space wedding, I could not have set that as a goal because I did not know it was even a possibility in my lifetime to get married in space. So when I was meditating and being this at zero to oneness, that's when the inspiration came in, get married in outer space. And I'm thinking, wow, really? Okay. And then took action to make it,
Right.
So it all came from that zero.
Yeah, I believe that in her case, from what I understand, she just kind of went to a blank space and waited, and the idea bubbled up. You didn't really ask for it. Right behind you first here, Kevin. Craig?
Joe, it occurs to me, looking at the two dots there, that even the awareness of the higher one is an illusion and is a memory, and that there really is no second dot.
Well, part of it, if you're, why would you choose the dot way out here? Because of some memory that says it's going to be pretty cool. Some memory, when you're sitting here, you're going, wow, I would really be great if I had something like what I had before or what I've heard of before. And so you project it out here, but you're not here. And you're actually listening to a memory. And if you keep cleaning that, that doesn't become important. This becomes important, and then the next moment, the next moment, the next moment, they take care of themselves and they seem to go up. And yes, right there.
No, I was just thinking of the last seminar you had where some people weren't here, so eloquent, the way you presented the whole thing, and the sky, laying in the field looking at the sky, and all those clouds are your thoughts.
Yeah.
And if you move all of them away, and there's one cloud, it's still a thought, and you can't get to the point that you realize you're not the cloud, you're the sky. And it's almost like a paradox. The more you try to clear it, the more you realize you're part of it.
Well, it is a paradox, yes. And I have referred, I think I even began this yesterday by saying if there was a code word for the weekend, it's whiteboard. Because that's zero state, there's nothing on the whiteboard. But we're all here with all kind of stuff on the whiteboard. If you just look at what we've been writing here, I began it with there was nothing on the whiteboard. Look how much we put on the whiteboard. All of this. And this is supposed to explain the whiteboard. And all of this is actually in the way of the whiteboard. On somewhat levels, this probably sounds as crazy. How many think he's crazy? Come on, yeah, there's at least a couple that think he's crazy. He thought Morna, who was the person who taught him self-identity, Ho'oponopono, who I talk about in the book, Zero Limits, he thought Morna was crazy for 5 years. And he literally did back in the 80s when he had to go into a seminar, and it cost him $500 each time he went in, and he kept leaving because he didn't see space beings or things hanging on the walls or whatever it was that she said she saw and he didn't see. So on one level, I'm very aware that this kind of conversation could sound really crazy. And on another level, I think it's the most important work I've ever done in my life, for me personally. Now, I know some of you had some other questions, and one of them I'm going to bring up. Well, here's one right there. Go ahead.
Hey, Dr. Lynn was talking about psychic stuff.
Perfect. Yeah.
I used to listen to plants. I understood what plants did. And then I got afraid of the psychic stuff and I walked away from that. And a lot of stuff's been missing in my life because what was natural, communicating with plants and with nature, I walked away from because I was afraid of the psychic. I was talking to Joe about this. I noticed a while back I was communicating with Carol's car. I own her car. And we started talking about that. Then I realized I have a motorcycle that's broken down my driveway. And I haven't appreciated that. And I realized how much I didn't appreciate that. Because I was afraid of the psychic thing versus the natural thing. And I was hoping the doctor would talk a little bit more about that because I know he communicates with airplanes and other things. And I think that would be something that would really benefit her.
So it sounds like you're directing that question to him.
Yeah.
Dr. Lamb, would you like to?
What was the question? There,
Now, as he's talking, you should be cleaning. He's only talking for you. You got to get this one. Otherwise, you'll get tangled in this stuff and go nowhere. You want to come home to zero. So he's only asking the question because it's an opportunity to clear, get really back to clarity. Because what he's talking about is really talking about stuff you're reacting to. If you didn't have it in you, he wouldn't say it. He can't say something that's not already in you. So kind of just pay attention to yourself and clean, yeah? Go ahead.
you talk about talking with the airplanes and the room and with all of nature. I can understand and appreciate that, having done a lot of that. And at one point I walked away from that because of the fear of the psychic realm.
What would be a problem for you if you went to see a psychic?
I wouldn't resist.
No, I'm pointing that out. Now, if you go see a psychic, you're going to be in trouble. Because the reason you go see a psychic is because you got problems. If you would let it go, you could see for yourself. Why would you want to go see a psychic when you can do it yourself? Talk to the chair, talk to the talk to shoes. So the idea is not to talk to things. The idea is don't talk because you talk to somebody else. That's a big problem. It's getting information from another person. You're going to go off. Because the only reason you're talking to that person is because you have the tie that you need to cut, erase, and let go so that you can go directly to the source which is already in you. Yeah. And for you, for those of you who give out information, oh boy, you should be paying attention because whatever you put out is going to come back and slam you. So what you want to make sure is that whatever you're putting out, it comes from inspiration. And you never know. And because you never know, you're always cleaning. Because you're going to put out information anyway. I don't care. You say, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to clean. Well, it's going to go out anyway. But the idea is by doing constant, nonstop cleaning, it's going to come up to do whatever it's going to do. And people are going to do that which is around you because they're moved to do it, not because you're telling them to do it. You guys have a nasty habit of telling people what to do. And it'll come back and get you, one of your children, it'll come back and do that. So the idea is, listen, just clean up. You got some clients, you just make sure you're cleaning with them, and they will get what they need, and they'll come back, and they'll go, wow, I don't know what happened, but thank you very much. And you go, huh? And you take the money anyway. Well, the idea is you want to be able to be at a place where always the information is coming directly from the source. So that's where you want to be. This is why you want to clean, because you will get that, and then when that information goes out, it comes directly from God. You say, you think, that's so. But if you fuss around with psychic stuff, then you're opening yourself up for problems. The doors open in your mind, and you're not even aware of it, and you just go whoop, and you get more and more confused. I had a good friend who she would go to the store, and then in the store, have you ever seen people at stores with telephones calling on, oh yeah, yeah. So here's this little gal, must have been a 16-year-old. She went off to the store, and then she would say, oh, maybe Mama wants something, and she would stop. She would do her cleaning, and then she would ask Mama, what is it that you want? Mama lived about 2 miles away. And Mama would say, here's what I want. Because she got so clean, she could hear Mama. But now we got cell phone. We're losing this intuition that's ours, where you can actually teleport with your mind. You can actually hear. And I must say, I love the internet, because I don't have to see people, see? I can do it with the internet. And if they're mad at me, I go, oh, okay, I get to clean that. As opposed to having them right in my face, I go, oh. Yeah, but you already know. And I'm only here to say you know. And that the source in you designed you, knows exactly who you are, knows exactly what's perfect for you. And the only thing that blocks you are this information called memory, old stuff, what Shakespeare calls for bemoan moan. Poor soul, that's the subconscious and the conscious. Poor soul, these rebel powers that thee array. And that's what the memories are, the data. So any more questions before I get around to other cleaning tools? Please.
Are you saying, it sounds like you're saying that we shouldn't go to a psychic, but it doesn't sound like you're saying we may not have psychic abilities.
I'm saying two things.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, let's say she turns out to be a psychic, okay? So I'm doing my cleaning and I get an inspiration to go see her. That's the only time I'll go see her. So now I know I'm going to see her. I'm going to make sure I'm going to do my cleaning. But there's something that I can clean up, and there's something she's going to share from me directly from God. But if I don't clean, it's going to be, she's going to tell me garbage because I didn't clean up my stuff. Now, I don't get, to be very honest, I don't get these inspirations to go see psychics or anybody else. Now, it doesn't mean I don't do it. I may be doing it, I'm cleaning, and maybe inspiration, and I may be doing it without my awareness. That's what you got to watch. So the idea is, so what's the bottom line? Just do your cleaning. Just do it. Where you cleaning? Who knows? But you want to be free. You want to have, as Jesus said, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. That's what you want to do. Because if I'm clean, I look at my friend Heidi, I will only be awed by what I see. If I don't clean, I go, wow, like the soliloquy in Hamlet, oh my God. But see, that's your responsibility. Remember that old saying that you can be perfect as God? You can, because you already are. Exact image, exact likeness. But we don't experience that because we got garbage. So coming back to the question, it doesn't mean I'm not going to go see her. But I'm going to go see her because I'm inspired to see her. But I'm going to clean like nobody's business because I don't know. I want to make sure whatever information comes up from me or from her will be perfect. Anybody else? Yes?
I've had maybe 3 or 4 times in my life that I've been truly inspired to do something. I could never explain where it came from.
Good.
I had totally other plans. I had plans of something completely different that day, and I was just driven to do something else, and I did that other thing. And where does that kind of inspiration come from if I'm not, obviously, I never learned about cleaning until I learned that.
Somebody in Hawaii is cleaning so that you can be inspired.
Okay.
Somebody
So the cleaning's been going on for
thousands of years.
somewhere.
Absolutely.
A cleaning wave came by me.
Absolutely.
And I got an inspiration.
Absolutely. But this cleaning has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. Wow. Otherwise, we'd be dead already, all of us. This would be a whole, the nuclear, it could go to hell. But you've had people, these crazy people who've come along periodically and done to keep the things so that it won't just go crazy.
You know, I do want to say something that I think you're incredibly brave to even use the word crazy, considering where you used to work.
But I tell you the reason why I'm saying that. You see, I have to. This is not teaching. This stuff is not a safe way to go. This is not something that I would wish anybody else to do, because you have to be crazy. Because like my friend over there with the rage, if you say something and you hit that in class, they will go ballistic. The whole class will go crazy. And I had that happen in Chicago. I had that happen in Philadelphia. And I know it's going to come. No matter why, it's going to come. But you'd be a damn fool to try to teach this stuff. I do it because this is what I came to do. I don't do it because I love to do it. It's like I was saying to somebody, a friend of mine, I would prefer to be home, just walking, getting old. But this is what I, unfortunately, and I will say unfortunately, this is what I came to. I cannot not do it. But it's dangerous to do. You will hit rages. This is the program. I mean, you will hit it like nobody's business. It'll go crazy. This is why before I come and make sure I spend hours looking at the land, looking at the building, looking at whatever it is in me that will cause you to go ballistic, looking at the land. The land is really the most important thing to look at, because this land has millions and millions and millions of history, years of history. So if you're going to go anyplace and you don't, say part of the problem of jet lag, you don't realize that if you're in Austin, I'm going to go home to Los Angeles. I have to travel through all this time and space, different dimension, and well, of course I'm going to get jet lag. But now, before I go, I do my 10 rounds of breathing. The universe makes adjustment, opens, close, opens, close. It's like breathing. But all you're doing is breathing. You're saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I don't want to break up anything. It's not my intent. I just want to go home. Like that. By just doing 10 rounds of breathing for every hour. Otherwise, unknowingly, you're just smashing things, creating problems. Anybody else? I see bubbles over here. Anybody? Okay, once. Yes, ma'am.
So if you say you'd rather be home,
Yes.
this is, you're inspired to teach this?
No, you should be cleaning when you hear anything like that. You're trying to figure out what's going on.
I am,
So,
yes.
yeah, so,
Okay, clean.
but you could be cleaning because the intellect will go crazy. Yeah, I'm just telling you the truth. You want to hear the truth, right? You don't want to hear bullshit. But this is why at some point you have the internet that's coming. That's why I'm hanging around with my friend Joe Vitale. I'm looking for some easier way to get this information across without having to try. You think what do you think I'm hanging around with him for? So he has, I heard when I was cleaning, this is months ago, I heard he can write. He has the storytelling style. But it doesn't come across as pedantic, like reading a manual on mental health. So he can do it. But I kept working on it. I just want to make sure I'm hearing it. Because the information in this book, it may look like storytelling, but it's going to hit a lot of plugs. Go boom, 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 boom. And I'm ready. I would like the book to go out so then I can clean at home while this thing is doing the boom, 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 boom. And I've talked to this book. And the book says, I can do it. But wouldn't it be nice if you could work from home? Don't you want to work from home, you folks? Yeah. And so this is what I would like to do, because I'm getting to be a very old man, and I would prefer, to get old. Anybody else before I go on to? Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Len,
Can I show you here? I'll give you what my name is, because if you pronounce my name correctly, it's a cleaning tool. So I'll just put it up on the board. This is why if you have the correct name, your name itself becomes the cleaning process. If the name is incorrect, all hell breaks loose. Why is the person mad at me? Why? It's about your name, not you. Yeah. So I'm just going to put it on, and you can do with it with what you want. But here in Hawaiian, the I is pronounced as E. It's an E sound, okay? So Hale, Like Spanish, it's even keel. Hale means house. A means of. Ka, la. So, and then Okino sign there. So it means I, hale, a, ka, la. If you say this la only, it means money. But if you say la, it means son. If you say la, it means forgiveness. So the pronunciation is very important. So ha, I, hale, a, ka, la. Yes. Yes. Yeah, perfect. Question, please.
Yes, speaking of, I need some clarification, please, very much, between the physical, and I spoke to Joe at lunch about this, and he said I should mention it in front of the room. The physical, what you physically feel, and how that translates
Sure.
into
Yeah.
where we are with
Yeah.
zero.
Yep, I need a white. Anybody can give me their eraser? Can I get the eraser?
Here's a razor.
We can open the door and the windows now if you're too hot. Some of you are fanning away. Yeah, you know, there's an old Texas story. I learned this long time ago. There's a Texas story that goes like this. There's this dog howling. Oh, old man comes along and says, "What's the problem?" The dog says, "I'm sitting on a tack." And the old man says, "Why don't you get off?" And his response was, "I'm too tired." So if you're waving away and you want the window open, raise your hand and we will do it. Yeah. Coming all the way from Texas to do this. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to show you the connection between the mind and the body. And I did it yesterday, but I'm going to do it in another way. This is a connection between the mind and the body. So everything begins with the divinity. Coming back to our friend here, I'm going to use her as an example. So now, for whatever reason, out of the void, out of nothing, divinity shows up as light. Why? I have no idea. So now divinity, for whatever purpose, decides to create our friend here this way. So now she's perfect. 0, 0, 0, 0. Being perfect, she's quiet. Doesn't say anything, no thinking, no coping, no managing, no question, no nothing. For eons. Sorry. So now, here she is. So now, divinity inspires her. That's the next step. From 0 comes the light, and she's inspired. And she fulfills the destiny for which she came, for which she was designed. Okay? All right. So now, this is what happens. I'm gonna draw one cell which represents the whole body, because in the middle of the cell is all of the data which creates the whole body. You understand that? Okay, good. So here's the cell. This subconscious is represented by the etheric around the cell. So here it is now. I'm just going to show you the connection. And then around this subconscious is the conscious mind. So I'm going to do it by this mark. So here's the conscious mind. This is the superconscious or the spirit. So I'm just going to draw it this way. And here is the divinity 0, infinite. So as soon as you get an experience called inspiration in here, it's because the inspiration is here in the subconscious. Immediately it tunes up and the cell becomes inspired. That's the connection between the mind and the cell. Because the cell around the cell is something science cannot see. And that's the subconscious, the conscious mind, the superconscious, then the divinity. So as soon as something this gets inspired, that inspiration shows up in the subconscious, and that inspiration designs that cell. And you have the experience of love, joy, happiness. Yourself, you just like that. It's an uplifting. Now, if this is a memory, which is everything shuts down. If this is a memory, then what happens is the memory ends up here. Remember, here's the connection. The memory ends up here, and then the cell goes and becomes cancerous. That's the effect. It's out of its journey, it's out of rhythm, out of tune, it's gone. It's out of step. So now, if you have a pain in your back, you want to work on that which creates the pain in the cell, and the way you do it is I love you. Divinity sends on the energy, removes that energy and becomes pure energy, removes it to nothing, and the same thing happens here, down to cellular level, which is just an effect. Then now the inspiration comes down, and the cell is reborn, like you. That's it.
Then may I ask, are you, on your body you have chakras, and when
Your body what?
on your body you have chakras, do you know what I'm referring to?
I don't know what you're talking
They're
about.
energy centers.
Yeah. So what you have to do, I want you to put that down for a little while. I want you to look at this. So every cell has an identity. The divinity, inspiration, the superconscious conscious, that's what I'm telling you now. Every cell, zillions of them, have an identity of their own. And if it's playing from memory, then in the memory of the subconscious, the cell has an effect, and the cell goes out of sorts. Because, remember I showed you the three things? Here's zero, here's the cause, here's the effect. From zero, you get zero, nothing. From inspiration causes an inspiration here. So the cell, in fact, behaves itself. It does what it needs to do. But if you got a memory here, that memory, which is a cause, will cause that cell to go into disease, and you're stuck with it. Now, I want to leave the chakra out because I don't want to handle that in this class. I'm not denying that, but I want you to stay home with yourself. But here's the relationship of the mind to the body. But you have to realize the body is just an effect. Thank God. Don't you think, thank God, we can change that? Yes. Instead of dying from some disease called cancer, we can remediate it by changing the memory. Anybody else? Headaches, no matter what you can heal it by talking, by going here. But if you think the problem is in the cell, you haven't got a chance. You can't do it. Anybody unclear? I just want to make sure you don't have to buy this. I'm not here to sell it to you. I just want to make sure you're clear. Yeah. David, do you have anything you want to ask about this arrangement?
No, not from you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes.
If you're clearing all the cells, can you rejuvenate yourself back to 20 years young?
Of course. For God, there is nothing God cannot do that's perfect and right for you. Nothing. Now, the only question is, what is God going to do for you when you clean? You can't say to God, this is what I want. Doesn't work, because God is not a concierge. You know what a concierge is? That's how we treat people. You know, I want this, and you don't give it, well, I'll go. Divinity is not a concierge, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. If it is, you'll have to hear it from another person. Yes?
Can we just trust the process and not have to figure out how it's working?
Well, you won't ever figure it out how it's working. So, yeah, you can't figure this thing out. This is why, as I'm listening to Joe trying to explain things, I think he's doing a good job, but words can never explain God. Can. The only reason I'm stuck, I have to show you something You know? I mean, I gotta show you something, but I don't want you to grab this. I want you to know how it works and just work it. That's all you gotta do.
I mean, for me, I see what you're saying,
Yeah,
and it looks interesting.
Yeah.
And I would just prefer, I trust you.
yeah.
And I would prefer to trust, well, I prefer to trust the process, it works.
Yeah,
So I don't have to figure it out.
Yeah, that's right. Good for you. In other words, let that go. Really, you don't have to fool. But you see, there are intellects in this room. They paid $1,000 or $1,500. I gotta give them something. They go home to fuss around with. Yeah. And I'm saying this out of love for you people. You know, the intellect got to say, now wait a minute, I paid $1,500 or $1,000. Yeah, I got to get something. So I said, okay, let's give him something. But you see my friend from Poland? Where's my friend from Poland? Raise his hand. See, he already got it within an hour. He could go home. He got it, really. He got it yesterday. He got it yesterday. He can go home. And I tell you the truth, you can get it in an hour if you'd let go. You can get it because you were created to get it. But the intellect is so ferocious. So ferocious. Let me get this. Let me grab it. Lots of luck, ladies, lots of luck. Even I don't grab it. One day I was in a workshop one morning, I'm sitting there trying to mind my own business, but I'm always concerned about what she's going to say. Because we're at the University of Hawaii. She's talking away, and the guy way in the back of the room, where my friend Om is, he raises his hand, and he says to Morna, let me just say, la, 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 la. Now here's Morna. You guys got it easy with me. Here's Morna. Fearless. Fearless. Hey, Dak there, do you know you were once a seaweed? He never asked any more questions. So to show you how much of a wimp I am, really, wimp. So one day I was working on something, and I heard Divini says, this is what I want you to tell him. And I went, oh, no, 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 no. Really, I was shaking my head, and then I heard this word, wimp. 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 So I'm cleaning up, because I am. I mean, some of the things I hear to tell people like you, I'm going, oh, geez. Anyway, so it comes up, and I hear the word, this is what I would like for you to say. And sure enough, the room went to hell. I mean, the room just erupted just by what I said, but it was so. So this is why it's dangerous to do this kind of class. When you hear it to say something, you go, oh, no. Yeah. Yeah. But it really, you were created perfect. God perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
I have a question.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I was created perfect,
Yeah.
why am I so, why am I struggling with hot flashes every 2 hours?
Now, you guys, it's you guys now. It's you guys. So you should be paying attention to what she says, because it's you folks that have this common memory. If we all clean, we would have a bigger net to catch all this stuff. If we think, oh, what's her problem? Listen, her problem's ours. All for one, one for all. So you can't get away with anything. It's like a poem by the Edna, I don't know, saying something Malay, yeah, where she's talking about somebody in Capri, and she lives, I think, in New Hampshire. Somebody in Capri is starving. She knows that that's her. This is a beautiful poem called Renaissance. Somebody is dying, somebody is starving, and she knows it's her. And so in her mind, the poem is about how she goes through her cleaning and letting go. It's beautiful, but that's what you should be doing. So the best line I like in Joe's book is the line that says, "Now I am a guru of myself." Like our friend, our Irish friend over there. He's going to be a guru of it, because if he doesn't do it, he's going to have a severe heart attack. Now tell me, what is this? You guys ran by me the last time when I said something about it's I'm sorry? Yeah, self-fulfilling. What a bunch of bullshit. When you hear it, you should be cleaning. Because like I said to you, when there was a tsunami, the animals get it before you. They're telling you something. What, is that self-fulfilling? No, I want somebody to tell me before it happens. So she's telling us something very beautiful. It has to do with hell. Can I say that again? This hot stuff has to do with hell. Like being and burning. So if you're willing to clean it, today, it'll sound like, but today you're going to be able to get out of that. Get out of the rage. Get out of this hell, the suicidal thing that runs through our minds. Like what's my problem? You're going to get out of it today if you're willing to know you're 100% responsible. Wow, and all you have to do is say, I love you, drink your soda water. You don't have to now what's happening? How come? Why? You're never going to get it. On that note, let's go drink some water, yeah? Thank you.